afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to our live webinar, Essential Growth Ideas for Students During COVID-19. My name is Arun, and I'm part of Whiteboard Academics management team. Thank you, everyone, for registering and turning up for this valuable session. Everyone, including students and parents, are going through a complete shift in how we learn and support learning these days. Adaptability issue is one key area we thought we will focus on this time. Through this webinar, we will make an attempt to bring out some essential support systems and mindset required to steer through this pandemic. Also, on behalf of Whiteboard Academics team, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Santosh for accepting our invitation to speak on this topic. It's not the first time we approached this highly powerful coach and leadership development professional. We have worked with him earlier in some other successful projects as well. Whiteboard Academics, with a team of innovators and experts from different domains, have been working together on a project called Support System in Academics in the last few months. The main objective is to help students of various ages in different parts of the world by equipping them with the right thinking, skills, and knowledge required to perform better during this crisis and after. From the WBA desk, we are confident the human race on Earth will come out stronger through this situation. We are also sure there will be a different world before and after COVID-19. In line with some novel ideas we have planned for the student community, we intend to start student support initiatives from WBA from June 2020. From these will be some key learning opportunities for students. We will be scheduling a series of free-to-access webinars for the student community delivered by top experts from various fields of knowledge. These sessions will cover not only academics, but will also focus on the required leadership and soft skills and co-curricular skills essential for students to thrive in the new world that is shaping up. Let me now introduce you to the speaker of the day. Dr. Santosh is a result-oriented executive coach who partners with individuals to help them realize their full potential and help them go far. He inspires to aspire leaders to plunge into action, embracing courage, humility, and discipline to have measurable leadership growth. His clientele includes professionals at all levels, including students, team leaders, managers, senior managers, VPs, SVPs, C-level executives, etc. Dr. Santosh is internationally certified and accredited in team coaching, relationship coaching, assessment, and leadership development and delivery. In the past, he has led learning and development and change management programs of strategic importance for companies across multicultural geographies, including Middle East, Africa, Central Asia, Southeast Asia. As part of these various roles in different organizations, Dr. Santosh delivered leadership development programs and has trained thousands of employees. Dr. Santosh is a recipient of Broad Learner Teacher Award constituted by a #1 publishing company in India. He was also chosen to be in their panel by mentors by Nottingham University Ningbo, China for their global membership program. As an avid reader and a writer, he has published various articles in leading journals and presented papers in international conferences. Also, I would like to thank my team at Whiteboard Academics who helped to make this endeavor a reality with their unlimited support. With this, let me hand it over to Dr. Santosh. Thank you, everyone, and happy learning.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arun, for this wonderful introduction. I think you spoke highly about me. Thank you very much for that. I just want to check if my audio is clear, Arun.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I hope the participants can also see me and also hear me very well. I will just get quickly into the introduction and then move on to see the agenda, and then we will get into the topic in depth. I can see around there are 50 people who have joined now, so welcome everyone from my side. Hope you are having a fantastic evening. You had proper rest, lunch, and you are keeping safe, and everything is going good with you. So today's topic is essential growth ideas for students during COVID-19. So as you can see on the first slide, I think I have actually represented some COVID-19 corona, and then there's a guy who's running, and then you can actually see people on mask. So we will cover in depth in terms of how the situation is shaping up and how it is impacting our lives, and how as a student community we could progress further or take some action so that we can actually adapt to the current situation. So this is the purpose of today's session. We will try to keep it very short and sweet. We don't want to bombard you with a number of too many ideas so that you get drowned into that. So as you can see, actually, Corona is around, and the fact is that we don't need to run and think that the Corona is chasing us. We have to follow all the rules laid on by the government, all the guidelines set by the government and authorities, and which they are asking you to follow. We have to abide by that, and we have to face the situation strongly. Just as an introductory note, some ground rules here for today. The session will be for around 40 minutes, and there will be a Q&A at the end. Session also will be recorded for later uploading to YouTube and other channels. So one thing to note is that your video and mic is disabled when you joined, and this is what some of you were asking. I just wanted to tell you that we had around 200 people registering for the webinar, and we are actually glad with this overwhelming response in a short period of 1.5 weeks time. And thank you all for registering to the session, and it shows that how much people need information on the current situation. So for your video and mic, what we will do is, if you have anything to ask, if you wanted to voice out to ask something, just raise your hand. So you have a hand raising option on your screen, which you can do. But we will come to your hand raise probably during somewhere in the session or at the end of the session. You can also do something more. You can, if you have questions coming in, just put your questions in the Q&A chat box, and we will take it up from there when we finish the program, when we finish the session, and at the end of the session. One more thing is that if you have an extra mobile, or if you can use the same system as well, so we want to keep you engaged into the session. I want you to answer some questions, and there are polls on Zoom that we are making use of. So we want to hear from you. What is it like for you? What is it like for you today, or some of your opinions? Just short yes and no answer, or maybe clicking on a button. So the poll will come on your screen when we will launch that, and we will also give you beforehand, we will also tell you the poll is coming. If you can also keep one mobile, or maybe use the same laptop for some other engagement that we are going to do at the end with something known as Menti.com, Menti. So it's an engaging interactive platform where you can use it in this kind of virtual webinars to get feedback from employees. Hope this is very clear, and I don't know, is there anything that I missed? Is there anything that you want to add?
You have covered almost all the points. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so the session theme is going to be on these three things. Yeah. So when I cover certain topics and certain ideas, there will be things that we should look at stop doing. There will be things that we should be looking at continue to do, and there will be things that we probably would start doing or do more of. So you will be able to identify those areas. You will be able to identify what is that I need to stop doing, and what is that I need to continue to do. So this is the theme across all of the topics that we are going to talk about, and essentially based on the situation now, and also probably things that we are going to do, or things that I'm going to discuss here, are more not only during this situation, useful not only during this situation, but also not in a non-COVID situation as well. But there are specific things that we need to take care while during this session or during this time. I hope you can identify who this is. It's me. I have a beard now, but the guy with me got a white beard, full covered, and probably I think I am aspiring to get those white beard fully now, probably in the near future. Can you identify that person who is with me there? But that's just a question that I am not looking at the chat for your response. He's Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. I visited him last year in the US where there was a executive coach conference and there was a movie being shot for him, like a legacy movie where I was part of. So I met this great guy. I'm a great fan of him, and I wanted to just to say what his message that he gave at that time. So I asked him, what is your message for aspiring young students, aspiring young leaders when I go back, and what is the message that you want to give me? And he told me something. He told me, what you got here won't get you there. So this was the crux of the message that he gave me. So what does it mean? What he got here won't get you there. It means probably as a student, let me just put this in an example of how students may think. So if you are in 11th or 12th standard, or if you are in 9th standard, or let's say if you are in 11th standard and 12th standard, and then what you got you there until there, for example, until 12th standard, scoring high marks probably is not enough, or the skills and capability that you had until then is not enough for you to score high marks probably in a entrance examination or an engineering or a medical exam or any other area. So there are certain skills and specific skills that is required for you to go further and further in your life and career. So the skills that I have today, for example, I have today is not enough for me if I need to jump 2 levels up. That's a totally entirely different skill. So if I keep practicing what I have until now, I probably won't be able to jump to that 2 levels. So, so that's why you see, I mean, let's say the engineering rank holders or the CAT or the GMAT rank holders are not the guys or girls who have actually scored high in probably in their class examinations. So we will get into those things as we go along. And this is a great book. So this is actually a best-selling book. This Marshall Goldsmith, my guru, he has actually written 40 leadership books, and I think almost there were around a dozen of them which were bestsellers on Amazon. So this book is a great book to read, and if you are an avid reader, or if you are not even an avid reader, just start reading this book. That's the first advice that I have to give you. So what is it with regard to COVID situation now? So what got us here won't get us there. So there are a lot of learnings that we actually have during this COVID situation and prior to COVID situation. And if we need to drive us forward as a humanity or as students or as an organization or as any other institution, we need to have something else. We need to have something else to tackle this problem that you're facing now. Now, the COVID situation is something like a black swan. The black swan is something. Swan is, so what is black swan? So swan is there is no black swan, right? So black swan, the concept is that the swans are usually white. So when a black swan appears, it's actually not expected. So the COVID situation, people call it as black swan. So we need to find ways to face black swan situations in the future. And that requires a lot of other skills. So before I get into few other details, can I ask you some simple questions? I wanted to know from you a couple of things. Yeah. So what will happen is, so I will ask Arun to launch a poll, and that poll comes on your screen, and it's asking you a question. So say yes or no and submit. All right. So I think I have two questions. Arun, can you launch the first question? It's about schooling from home.
Sure, sir. I'll do it right now.
You can see the questions on your screen. Yeah. So do you like schooling from home? The answer is yes or no. You can actually say yes or no. And then it's all about asking you, I'm sure that most of you are at home and the schools are at home now, either online or whatever means that your school have set up. So just answer that question and submit, please. You getting some responses, Arun?
Yes, sir. I'm really glad that most of the people, almost 95%, have responded to the poll.
Oh, very good. Okay. Okay. Good. We'll just give a few seconds more for people to respond. All right. So will you be able to publish?
I think still there are people voting, sir.
Okay.
Let's give them some more time. I can see
This
in
more about,
behind.
yeah, this is more about asking you whether you really, really like, sitting at home and doing schooling. Maybe there are people who like, maybe there are people who don't like, just to get a feel of how you're taking this now.
Okay, I think, yes, we can end the poll. And do you want to share the result with them?
Yeah, please, please.
Okay, so I'm going to share the result, what we have actually. It's actually combined, mixed results we have.
Okay. Okay, so 47% of people have said yes, they like schooling from home, and 53% of people said no, they want to go back to school. So it's actually a majority of people are not in favor of schooling from home, but of course there are a good number of people who are enjoying that as well. All right, so there's one more question that I want to ask you before we move on. Arun, it's about something. It's about, see, this mental strain have increased in the last 3 months. No matter, or people say, we actually read this morning. I read a news, and that's actually top news in the newspaper that I read daily. I mean, it's actually talking about mental strain and frustrations that people have got. I just want to check the audience who have come today to listen to me to ask you these questions, because I saw that news. I just want to ask you this question, Arun. Can you launch that question?
Second poll, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, so here we go.
Now you'll see the question. So do you see a mental strain increase in the last 3 months? Which means it could be, so compare your mental situation or how you have been feeling before the COVID and during the COVID. Did you notice any kind of stress or increase in your mental capacity to hold things, or anything that actually affected you? So if it is a yes, say yes. If it is a no, say no.
The main reason we are launching this poll, because we wanted this webinar to be very interactive. We want the participation from all our participants. They have 100% commitment. That's why.
Absolutely. So we want to know you as well, what you think, and how do you take this situation at the moment? You're getting some responses, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. There are a couple of people. I'm not sure whether they would really wanted to or they don't want to.
All right, so that's fine. So if you can actually then close that and then submit,
okay.
or publish, let's see how people have answered.
Okay, I'm going to share the result now. You can see the result on the screen now.
Okay, so it's actually a big number of people who actually said the mental strain have increased, the pressure has gone up. I mean, it's kind of normal to say, but I just want to check the pulse of the audience today, because we have people joining from various parts of the world. We have people from, I'm speaking to you from the UAE. We have Arun and the team are from Kuwait. There are people from India, there are people from UAE, there are people from the US, and there are from various other parts of the world. I haven't really looked into who. But this actually shows us or tells us something, that we are actually going through something that everybody agree that something has changed. Yeah. All right, so let me just move on. Thank you for that. And this was a news item that I actually saw this morning. So this is from Khaleej Times here, and this morning's paper. So teenagers feel mental strain of pandemic. That was actually on the top of the first page, and it actually talked about. I mean, teenagers are usually the people who are very vibrant. They are socially connected. They go out, they party, they see people. They there are physiological, biological reasons why people actually go out. They need to meet people, but now we actually are controlled by something that we cannot see, and then that actually puts a lot of strain on people. But the point here is that we need to understand the reality. So I just want to make sure that we understand what's going on. We need to do a reality check rather than getting drowned into what we actually go through. This is where we can actually start adapting to the situation. When I say this, if I know If I know what I'm going through, then I have more control over it. If I know what is going around in me, or what is going around in and around my area, in my environment, I'll be able to adjust myself mentally and physically. So we know that Corona is here. We have people getting admitted into the hospitals because they are positive, because there are people being quarantined because they are positive, there are serious cases which is leading to a small percentage of deaths. So everything that we need to take it. So okay, let me just. What else is happening around? So there are also these kind of things that actually comes as a noise to us. Yeah, there are fake news, there are things that goes around in the social media without no evidence, and there are things that are actually completely false news and misleading news. So there are n number of things around us during this time to mislead us, to make us feel more panic, and we keep talking about it. Uh, so we need to be aware of this. We need to be aware of the constant pumping of fake, misleading, without proof, false news around us, and we shouldn't be getting panic about all these things. And so we need to be aware of that. And the other thing that actually is that anxiety is on the increase, feeling of social isolation is on the increase. Anxiety because as student community, or as anybody who actually as parents or student community, I'm a parent, I have kids, so probably they are small, but there are people who are actually on the verge of making a career decision. There are people who are actually thinking of what next. And this is suddenly coming. My exams are in turmoil, and I don't know what to do with this. Am I going to get a job? You know, when I pass out of my college, or when I go out of when I come out of my 12th standard, am I going to get an admission into a college where I want to, or am I going to get a job? Is there anybody who is going to hire me? People who have lost jobs, you know, salary cuts, taken salary cuts. I know, and we know many of them around us. So the anxiety level, the negative thoughts, the depression that some people may have, all have gone up. And loss of control is something crucial as well. So what do you mean by loss of control? Yeah. So human beings by nature, we would love to plan and control our lives, right? No matter what it is. We are designed like that. So we need to plan and we need to have a control on our lives. Suddenly, this is taken off. We are not in control. We can't control things that are happening or what we wanted to do. We can't plan things because the situation doesn't allow us to do. So that actually puts us, for me, that actually puts every human being on earth in a kind of a pressurized environment, because we have to live within the four walls. Probably we will go out for a walk or go to the grocery or to get food stuff or essential items, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real way that people express themselves. So this actually put people in you know, a less controlled situation where they can't do anything. So that's one of the main reason why we actually face anxiety, depression, negative thoughts. But why I am saying this here is because we need to be aware of this is what is happening. All right. So if you're aware of what is happening, then it's easy for us to adapt. Right. If you don't know what's happening, we only hear the noise. We just keep talking about it. We watch news. We see fake news coming in. We just correlate and relate everything and start discussing. And then we actually cause a fear in ourselves. So understand the reality. This is what it is. This is what it is. We have to take it. And this actually helps you to cope with the current situation. So what is also happening is fear. Fear is a normal. So in normal response to fear, human beings either, you know, there is, we will say fight or fly, you know. So you actually either fight or you actually run away. That's a normal, the animal human tendency that we have when faced with the situation. But when fear situation is prolonged for a long time, it actually creates issues. So be very, you know, be aware of that and think about it so that you know what's going on, and then you can adjust yourself to adapt, right? So one thing to remember is we are all in this together. It's just not you, it's just not me, it's just not Arun who is sitting here, or anybody who is attending this program, everyone in the globe is going through this pandemic and going through this current situation. So we will come out of this for sure. We, as a humanity, we have actually gone through similar pandemic, or not similar. Probably the social media was not that active those days, but there were pandemics in previous years and depressions in our history. But something for this generation, and for example, my generation, my father, or my generation, or my kids' generation, have not seen something like this. But there were things that has happened as well. So we are all in this together, and then that is something that you need to really, really remember every day. All right, again, a reality check. So this picture, I hope you can see this picture, right? Some of my people in the audience could actually relate to this picture as well. If you're seeing this, this brings to me a lot of fond memories. Now, this is the school that I went to until fifth standard, and then I joined a bigger school called a Sainik School, and then that's where I actually passed out my 12th standard and came into the mainstream. So the schools plays a major role in everybody's life, and physical school actually plays a major role. Yeah, what is there? You know, if you look at that, do you think that the current this school can be replaced by? Oh no, for me this is the picture. For you, it will be a different picture in your mind. So the ground, the running around, playing with friends, you know, drinking that water from that well, you know, going and hiking the mountains and sitting under the tree and chatting with your friends, social interactions, a lot of extracurricular activities. It's very live, right? So that's how we grow up as adults and kids and adults, right? So this is not there at the moment. So, and there is nothing that can replace what we actually miss at the moment. That's also something that we need to realize. But we will get back to this place to be live and energetic. We will rise from this and come out stronger. But the fact that no need to get disappointed at the moment, because this is what the reality is. So we need to constantly do a reality check, yeah, before we do anything, because it really, really helps. I'm spending a lot of time on the reality because the reality is very, very important, because there is always a chance that we may get drowned without knowing what's going around, right? Okay. Now, so how do we approach now? How do we approach? Any questions so far? Do you wanted to? Is there any questions coming up? Arun, if you.
We have a couple of questions received in Q&A. I think that you can answer in the final stages, whenever you have time. Once you're done with the.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to tell you is just keep your questions coming in. So if you have any questions to ask, or it can be related to career, it can be related to what's going on at the moment, it can be related to your student life. You can answer us. You know, I'm not saying that we are all experts here, or can give you any answer, but we have gone through student life, we have gone through a career, or going through a career, going through this pandemic. So we probably will be able to give you ideas. Okay, now, first thing first, look for trusted information. Yeah. Especially during this time, as I said, there are plenty of misleading facts and figures that is going around. So only look for trusted information. The sites that I have actually shown you in the are government sites, which are actually trusted sites. For example, the NHS, UK, and Center Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the US-based. And then there is the UAE, India, Kuwait. So every country has got their own trusted information providing agencies and government authorities. You should trust information from them, yeah, if you are in doubt. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. And now let me just let me just bring a concept in your head. Healthy mind platter. Do you know what does it mean? Healthy mind platter. Probably you have heard about diet platter or a healthy diet platter. Probably this is what I'm saying. So you know about this, right? So in order to keep a good healthy diet, we need to have 70% carbohydrates, 10% on treats, so only sugars and all this comprises of 10%, and probably we should include protein and fats. So this is kind of an ideal, probably may not be ideal for those who are actually very, very diet conscious, probably may say this is not right. But then this is not what I want to talk. I want to talk about the healthy mind platter, which I call as the platter for the brain and the mental health of our human beings. So this is what it is. So this is the healthy mind platter. I will spend around 2-3 minutes on this, so to make you understand what does this mean. So this is a research-based outcome of neuroscientists, psychologists who have worked behind this. There's a great guy known as David Rock, and I'm a big fan of him. And then Dan, who actually done a lot of research before they actually came up with this, that this is the healthy platter that our mind needs. Our body needs food, our mind and brain needs these elements, these 7 elements. Yeah? So these are otherwise called as the 7 daily essential mental activities to optimize brain matter and create well-being. So this is about sleep time, physical time, focus time, connecting time, play time, and downtime, and time in. So I'll just explain you what does this mean and how is this related to what we are actually going through at the moment, right? So sleep time, of course, is we all need to get good sleep, especially during this time, especially if we are prone to get a virus or anything. Our body should keep our immune system at a very high level. Sleep is very essential. Yeah? Sleep is very essential for brain development, whether you are kids or adults, because the brain during sleep is still working with information from the past, present, and it can also planning for the future. So sleep is very, very essential for us to remain healthy and energetic and mentally at a sound state. Physical time is about, of course, working out, exercises, sweating, okay, so let me just explain and then come back. Focus time is about focusing on a specific task or a project to achieve certain results. So it could be studying for an exam to score high marks. It could be working on a project to complete it within the next week. So you concentrate, and for a short period of time, you concentrate and focus. So focus time. Connecting time is about we need to connect to people. So whenever we do each of these, our brain actually make neural connections, and that's how our brain actually stays healthy. Yeah. So if you don't have any one of these, it's actually a lack for the human brain. So connecting time is about connecting with people, seeing, going into the network, talking to people, exchanging ideas. Playtime is more about being innovative, being out of the way, playing with kids, or let's say, because kids do this by nature, because they come up with ideas, they're juggling and jumping all the time. But as adults, as we get older and older, we get more, serious. We get more serious, and we don't do this playtime. Downtime is when you actually let go of everything. You don't really engage into any intelligent stuff. You just go into the beach, you sit on it, you just take a vacation, or you just take a walk on the riverside, or just unwinding yourself, doing nothing. That's downtime. Time in is time for yourself, that you sit back and you think about yourself, reflect on yourself. What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? What have I done? Okay, is there anything that I need to improve? So this is self-reflection. I am talking to myself and finding my own thing. So meditating, for example, could be a time-in thing. So these 7 elements or activities are very, very essential for our brain to remain very healthy. Yeah. So what? So we are actually going through a situation where most of these things cannot be materialized. Do you get me? So most of the things, for example, sleep, we can say, okay, sleep, we are at home, we can sleep all the time, but we can't sleep all the time. Our sleep habits are actually taking a hit, because you start sleeping afternoon, you start sleeping during daytime, and that affects in your night. And then and when morning you get up, you are actually tired. Things like that. So that's even affected. Physical time, of course, if you have a treadmill or if you have some space at home or if you have space around your home, you can do that. Or if you're taking a walk, still there is possibility that you can do that. Focus time, of course, still you can do that. But everything is between these walls or between a restricted area because of the social distancing that we are actually going through at the moment. Connecting time, of course, we are connecting virtually, but then we are not really connecting in a physical form. So most of the thing that is on this plate, we are not able to fulfill. So that actually puts us in a kind of pressure. So what we're going to talk from here on are things that how we can actually compensate for some of these things on this plate. Yeah. And how we can actually play or how we can actually do better at what we're doing. Of course, there are limitations, but we are just going to give you some ideas around these things. First thing is I need to be the same person when I get back to the normalcy, right? So eat less, you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't want to put on another 10 kilo and then look very unhealthy and feel very unhealthy and tired after I come out of this situation. I can keep eating whatever I want. I can just be lazy on my couch and watching TV, or I can, I can do nothing. So be very mindful of this. I can actually say I have put on 2 kilos or 3 kilos, and unless it is beyond the required level, then I think you should be taking care of that. Okay, healthy diet, regular exercise, be the same person in the same shape even when you get back of this, because this is something that's going to be another thing. Yeah, I've actually went back to no, not I'm not going to say that, but I actually been meeting with some of my friends in the last 1 week who I didn't see for uh, more than 2 months. Most of them, boys, also girls, actually have put on weight. Yeah, so they sometimes think about all these things, how this is going to affect us, right? Follow a routine. How many of you follow a routine still, right? So normally when we go to school or go for work, I mean, whatever we are saying now, I think it's not only for students, but I think it's also applicable to everyone, including adults, parents, and everyone. Follow the routine even if you're at home, because it actually brings life back into you, whatever you're doing. Yeah. If so, normally when you go to school or go to your office, you shower, you change, you have breakfast, and then you get into your routine thing. Dress up yourself. Yeah. Don't sit in a pajama and then attend the class. So do everything as it is, the time, because when you get back into it will be difficult for you to get back into the normalcy. Also, if you follow a routine, it will help you to be it will give you a sense of that you are actually on a normal routine. There's nothing probably have changed. So try this. If you're not doing this, try this. So I'm sure definitely this is going to bring in a lot of difference in things that you're going to do. Social distancing versus isolation. Yeah. So there is a difference here. Social distancing is not social isolation. So people have asked us to social distance to avoid getting the virus, but that is not social isolation. So be careful not to get into a socially isolating mode, because that can then have a very damaging impact on whatever we are doing. Our mood can change. Mood will drop definitely. Energy level will come down. Productivity level definitely is going to come down. So don't equate social distancing with social isolation. So how do I then make up for my social isolation or the isolation, whatever I am actually experiencing at the moment at home? This is very important, how to overcome this. So if you are experiencing anything, and before I proceed, let me tell you, if you are experiencing any of the difficulties or any negative thinking that you're going through, any help that you need, reach out to people, talk to them. It can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be anybody that you trust. Reach out to them for help. So asking for help is very required during this time. So people normally don't do, and we have seen examples of people who don't ask for help. They get into trouble and they probably do some mischievous stuff. So reach out for help. No shame in asking for help. If you are really a good person, you will ask for help. I need help. There is nobody in this world who don't need help. Yeah. So everybody need help. So even if you have not been asking for help and you've been very proud and your ego doesn't allow you to ask for help, this is the time that you should never do that. Anyway, I have one more questions coming up for you before we move on. I think that's a question related to the free time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let me try to find out.
Can you launch that? So
Third
this
one,
question
right?
is third one. This question is about, I want to know how much free time do you have? All right. How much free time do you have during this time? Even if you're parents or kids, just tell me how much free time do you have?
Okay. You want me to launch the poll, right? Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing it. Here we go. Okay, so everyone, we have launched a poll. You can just look into the question and answer accordingly, whatever you feel like.
Yeah. So how much free time do you have in a day now? 0 hour, 1 hour, 3 hours, more than 5 hours? Are people still answering?
Sorry, sir. Yeah, we're getting a result actually.
Very good, very good. I'm happy that you're still engaged and you're not been bored with what I'm saying. Thank you very much for sitting through and then answering these questions.
And also participants, if there is any difficulty in related to audio, please let us know. We can adjust that. I hope everything is okay now, but in case if you're having any difficulty related to the audio volume or anything, please put it into the chat box. Let us know, please. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll now.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I've seen few questions coming up, and Sanjay was asking about career planning, and there was few other questions. So I will come to that. Yes, whoever has actually asked questions, we will come to the Q&A session and answer that.
Okay, so I think there is a difficulty in the audio. I just saw it in the chat. Maybe something related to the mic which you are having. If you can keep it a little bit closer, that would be fine.
Okay. Yep.
How is it now? It's Marina. Yeah, the query came from Marina. Okay,
I hope the sound is clear, the audio is clear, and if you have anything, please let us know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna share the poll result now. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah.
Can I share?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please, yeah. All right, so fantastic. So you have only 6 people said they don't have any free time. Only 6% of the people attendees said 1 hour, 3 hours, more than 5 hours. 42%, more than around half of people attending today have got more than 5 hours at their disposal to do anything. Very good. It's good to have more time, and also it is also a thing that we need to take care. Right? I just want to get a thank you for that, and let me just move on. And then why I asked you. So, how self-directed are you? Is my question to you. So when I say how self-directed, what is self-directed? Self-directed means I take responsibility for myself than ever. Yeah. So this is a time that we need to take responsibility for ourselves than ever. And then how am I doing it? Okay. How am I self-directing myself to learn, to achieve, to plan my career? Are you doing anything? I'm just asking you an open question. I'm not expecting an answer, but I'm just asking you a question probably just to poke you to think. Yeah. How much self-direction are you taking? Or have self-directive actions in you increased in the last couple of months? Yeah. If not, why? If yes, what are you doing? Think about all these things. Yeah. So why I say this is because there are n number of things, because we say necessity is the mother of invention. Is not in, so there's nothing to invent here, but necessity is the mother of anything that we do. So for example, this webinar, I've not been doing webinar on a Zoom platform like this. I've not been, I always used to speak to audience. I always used to speak to classrooms, a classroom session, or interactive sessions in a classroom. So now these days, everything is virtual. I'm doing things on Microsoft Teams. Now with Arun, I'm doing this. But then I wouldn't have done this if this things didn't happen. So we are waiting for something to happen to do certain things. But no matter, well, that happened, and people have actually stepped up and have tried to adapt to the situation. So as students, there are things that actually you should be able to do now. You should be utilizing. I know you most of the students here, or who are young, are very, very familiar and acquainted with the social media, using YouTube or other online medias to equip themselves. But this time, if you got more time, please make use of the time, because when you go back, because everybody says a new normal, right? So what is old normal and new normal? I think the new normal will be this, probably majority part will be the old normal itself, because you will always go back to school, right? There's nothing probably would have changed. Things will change the way that we actually, for example, the thinking, that the perception about certain things have changed. That we now know that the potential of technology now. We now know that we need to be more clean. Yeah, we now know that we actually have to take care of our health. Yeah, so there are different way by which countries and nations and human beings are looking at things. Perspectives will definitely change. Priorities will definitely change. But I think for school going children, things probably is back again into. So you may find it very difficult at the moment to find time to do these things. So make use of the time available. And I have some resources for you here. For example, you probably know this, yeah? So why I'm saying this is the best time that you should be able to spend your time. There are free courses on all these platforms. Yeah, for example, Udemy, Coursera, I'm not advertising them, but I just picked these things because I know them. Udemy, for example, Coursera or edX, for example, offers even simple courses, few hours courses, very free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. Yeah? And these are from some top international universities. There are things on artificial intelligence, there are things on big data, time management, or anything that you can think of, how to plan career, how to do this, how to do that, leadership essentials. So utilize everything that is available to you at the moment, because you have more time at your disposal. That's what I hear from you. You have and hear from me. So be more and more self-directed as you go, because until 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, you are somewhat self-directed. But then when you go out of your school, and when you go into a college, university, when you are in a job, you totally become self-directed. Yeah, and there is nobody to direct you, because you have to manage yourself. So practice that now itself, so that you don't want to do that quite later on. Start practicing self-direction now. So along with that, what comes along with that is burnout. If you have more time, also take care that you don't burn out. Yeah, you more stuff in a day, and then I have to achieve a lot. You don't really have to achieve a lot. You just have to do small chunks. So take care of burning out. Social time is very, very important. I've seen a question from someone about tell me anything other than doing yoga, or attending music lessons or dance classes or anything. But this is something very important I'm talking about. So even if your kids, maybe as parents, we were actually limiting them from getting into interaction with their friends, because they are using this iPad all the time, or the computer all the time, mobile all the time. But with restrictions, this is what we should encourage them to do, because they also have the psychological need, like any other human being, any other adult, to interact with their friends. So, and there are apps and there are things available where they can actually search. So if you're a student, you should still connect with your friends and have that social time. Replace that social time with the virtual social time. And I do that. For example, I have few friends around, my school time friends. I don't know whether it's Saji or Bobby, Rajiv, other people are here. So we are from different parts of the world. We come together like a ritual. We do this every Friday. We actually come together and talk about anything that we used to talk about when we meet, right? So we have coffee, we have talk, we have discussion, laughter. So we need to do that. Yeah. So don't sit idle. I know that most of you probably are doing this. Studying more effectively. So you can also plan for virtual study sessions. Yeah, which probably you are doing in a classroom, but still, if you are at, for example, at higher classes, this is something that you should practice. Not more than 2 or 3 people, but then, Zoom is available or Google Meet is there. There are plenty of other Skype, but there are plenty of other platforms. And I think some countries where WhatsApp is not listed, you have WhatsApp call or various other mechanisms. Why? Because this is also a kind of social. This actually satisfies 2 things. One is that you can study effectively. You can also interact with your friends and satisfy the importance of being connected with people. Yeah. So when you actually get out of this crisis, you won't feel much of a difference. The problem is when you feel big difference. Yeah, we are trying to minimize the feeling of that difference when we get out of this. Yeah, what is wrong in having the feeling of that difference? Because that difference is what causes some kind of pressure or depression on us. Yeah, so we should feel like we are actually in normalcy. We are actually doing everything that we want to do, but in a slightly different way. So I encourage students to do these practices. And also how to study. Quality is very important, not quantity. Why I say this, I will just quickly tell you something, a secret formula. Probably you know this, yeah, but this is very, very important. If you know this formula, if you know this technique, you can be the top scorer. You can achieve anything that you want. You can be you can crack GMAT or IELTS or whatever you want to crack, you can crack. If you want to be, for example, if you're from India, if you wanted to be an IAS officer or an IPS officer, you can do that. And you may ask me, why didn't I do it? So probably I didn't know this. Yeah. So that's my answer. So I'm telling you that I didn't know this. Probably I probably would have been missed somebody talking to me like this, or we didn't have Corona at that time. So I'm just telling you, this is the formula. I'm going to explain that a bit more. So this is something that gets you where you want to go, right? So this is about quality, not quantity. So this picture actually depicts that studying 1 hour every day is better than studying 8 hours a day. Yeah, that's simple. But it has got some science behind it, and I'll just explain you what that means. Yeah, you know what do you mean by a pseudo worker? Pseudo worker. So pseudo worker is someone who makes him or her feel that the person is actually studying or doing a lot of work. Have you seen people with a flask of coffee with a blanket and everything, going into a library and spending their life there and studying and reading, and they will just don't get out of that? So that actually gives a wrong impression of that I'm actually doing a lot of work. Yeah. So that's actually a pseudo worker. A pseudo worker is someone who probably lie down on a couch and watch TV and flip through the chemistry note, for example. Yeah. A pseudo worker is someone who just won't get out to play with friends and just sit and then, so if I get out of this, now I'm missing something, I will lose something. That's pseudo working. I want to show people that I am actually working a lot. I want to show my parents that I'm actually studying all the time. So pseudo working doesn't help. If you have seen someone, probably we all have seen people, probably in my school days, I've seen people, probably I have done this as well, but this is not very effective. Yeah. So pseudo working is equal to inefficiency. So if you can relate yourself with what I'm saying, stop doing from today this pseudo working mode. So because what you need to do is to compress your work into focused bursts. That's what I call you need to compress your work into small chunks and take it at different times with focus, right? And that's how our brain works. Our brain cannot multitask. Okay, so if somebody says that they can actually do different things at the same time, they're totally wrong. Brain science or research has told us that brain cannot multitask. I cannot do 2 tasks at the same time, for sure. Yeah, although we may be doing, but it is with high amount of energy spent by the brain, because we need more energy, more focus than when we multitask, than when we actually do focused work. So focused bursts. I'll tell you a simple formula. Yeah, this is the magic formula I want to tell you about this. Work accomplished is equal to time spent into intensity of focus. Okay, so whatever work that you have to accomplish, it is equivalent to the how much time you will spend and how much intensity of focus you will give it to that. Okay, let's now say, okay, your intensity of focus on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So we can either do this or that. Okay, so let me say you can either do 10 hours of study, yeah, with a focus intensity of 3. That will give you a figure of 30, right? So let's say that is a work accomplished, 30. So that is 10 hours of study into a focus intensity of 3, which means focus intensity of 3 means that you're not really focusing, but you're actually 10 hours, you're just going and reading, or maybe just casual reading. There are distractions coming in, there are friends calling, there is some visitors coming into house, there's some programs going on in the TV I need to watch, or there is a Netflix series that I used to watch, I need to finish some episodes, but you're studying 10 hours. I am still studying, I have my books in my hand, right? So that's intensity is very low in that aspect, but you're spending 10 hours, right? But the other thing is 3 hours of study and the focus intensity is 10. So your full attention on that piece of work that you're doing is 3 hours, and so, or your intensity is 10, and then you do it only for 3 hours, which is equivalent to the 10 hours of study. Okay. This is why you probably would also recognize some people or students, or I can even think of some people in my class, that people you will wonder, why is this guy getting high marks? Yeah. Why is this person actually, I can see him playing all the time, I can see him watching TV, I can see him going with his parents for movies, I can actually see him chatting all the time, and he's in politics, he's in different debates and extracurricular activities, but this guy actually scores high marks. From where is he getting the time, right? So this is smart way of working, right? You will find smart people, or people who have achieved high success in their lives are people who actually have high intensity of focus, and they actually spend very less time than normal people do. So when I say they are also normal people, we are also normal people, but then we can also be like them by doing and practicing this intensity of focus. This is what I want to say. You take any CEOs of the world, they don't have time. They have because we have our Google CEO, we have Microsoft CEO. They are all from they've all studied, for example, Indian curriculum and the way that they've come up. If you ask any CEOs, I'm just saying an Indian example because I know that most of you can relate to that here. If you read through the history of how they have studied, you will see somewhere this smart focused work is there. Yeah, so focus on that. Also about this, maybe you know this, maybe you don't know. You don't need to do this like hours. So this is also related to what I am talking. Compound interest for self-improvement. You know what is compound interest, right? So if you put money, let's say $100 every month for the next 25 years, it will compound and become and it will be a huge amount of money in the next 10 years, right? So this is the compounding effect. Yeah, you can even look at go to Google and type in compound calculation, compound interest. You will know this. If you put 1,000 rupees or $1,000 every month for next 10 years, how much it will become. Yeah, so you will be amazed to see. But here, this is exactly applicable to what we do as well. If you wanted to perfect, or if you want to improve ourselves, if you make 1% improvement in whatever you do every day, listen carefully. If you make 1% improvement in whatever you do every day, at the end of the year, you will be up 37.78%. This is by just not by mathematics, but by research. Yeah, and brain science. Yep. If you on the other hand, if you do 1% less every day, or if you go down 1% every day, you will be in the negative at the end of the year. What does this tell us is that you don't have to spend a lot of time. You just have to improve. This is like the plane taking a direction change, right? The pilot actually makes a very small angle change. It actually over a time, because of course, the flight actually moves much faster. So very small change in the angle can actually cause the direction change. This is exactly applicable in our career as well. If you're not prepared to do that 1% change every day in whatever that you want to do and achieve, then forget it. Yeah. So it can be a simple thing like tidying. I'm actually a guy who is very lazy and I don't tidy up my room, and there is huge pile of my clothes and socks and shoes and everything on my, this is very relatable. That's why I'm saying. So, but if you want to tidy up and change yourself, right? So I want to change my room and I want to be a tidy person. And so my parents asked me to tidy up your house, and you should be a tidy person. Your room should be clean from next day onwards. So I spent half a day setting everything right, and my room now looked perfect. Yeah. But next day, I have my one socks was lying down, some books were on the corner, and my laptop bag is around. And as days goes by, it just happened that I went back into the same pile of stuff after a week, right? Why? Because I just need to pick up that socks and put it in the the washing the cabin. I just need to pick up the shoes and keep it in the rack. I just don't need to do half a day work. I need to do only a small amount of work to keep that tidiness, right? So this is what I'm saying. So if you want to read, for example, how many of you read books? If there are avid readers here, they probably would have read this, right? And always students or people who read, you will always find them with carrying book, right? Wherever they go, and they will be just flipping and reading through, and they will finish books so fast. So if somebody wanted to read, I have an ambition to read and finish this bulk, this massive book. But I am by the sight of it, it actually gives me, this fear is in me that I don't even open it, because this is such a huge book. I'm not going to finish it. If you think bulk, you will not finish anything. If you think in small chunks, small percentages, constantly over a period of time, it is how you finish things. Simple example, yeah. So I finish books these days. I finish books like that. I listen to my audibles probably around 10-15 minutes every day while I'm exercising or doing something, and I finish a book probably in a week's time. I can read a 500-page book in 50 days if I read only 10 pages a day, right? So this is the importance of this formula I am telling you. So if you really, really want to achieve what you really want to achieve, then spend that 1% every day. And there is also this, so before we close, a couple of slides more, I can still see there are 60 participants who are there, still there, and happy that you are still hanging around. Hope this is useful for you. So learning journey. So there are different levels of learning, right? So some of these terms probably may sound Greek and Latin or confusing for you. There is a state of unconscious incompetence at the first stage, which is about, I don't know what I don't know. Yeah, that is ignorance. That is bliss. I don't know what I don't know. Okay, so it's okay. But when it reaches to a stage where I am conscious of what I don't know, then I'm just explaining you what is the learning journey, what are the different levels of learning, right? And this is from Neuro Leadership Institute, and this is again a brain research thing. Conscious competency is about, I know what I don't know. Then that can create confusion, frustration, fear, feeling an inferiority complex, or whatever. And then you start learning things, and then you reach to a point where you are conscious about your competence. I know this. Okay, so that's an accomplishment. You feel more achieved. The achievement is more there. Excitement is there, and I want to do more, and I want to learn more. And you reach to a point, that is where we say you are at the level where you can now be a smart worker, or let's say a performer. Right? Unconscious competence is about, I'm unconscious about what I know. Okay, this is the example that you can relate to here is driving, for example. So I don't know driving, and I don't bother about driving, but I just found that my friend is driving one day, and then I felt that I don't know driving. I felt shame, right? I don't know. It's a kind of frustration. So I started learning driving. Now I know driving, and I'm on the road on the first day without the help of my tutor. But I am very conscious about my competence. Okay, looking into the mirror, turning or putting the light, I'm very conscious about overtaking. But as days goes by, as I drive more hours, I reach to a stage where I am unconscious. I reach a level of unconscious competence where now I don't really, I actually apply every learning that I do, but it's all very natural, right? So this is how you learn. Whether you learn 1% every day, that this is what it makes you. If you, we used to say, if you do certain things 40 days continuously, it becomes a habit. And this is how you build your habit. Yeah. So try to do things that, even if it is studying 1 hour a day, if it is playing 1 hour a day, or even if it is reading 1 hour a day, or even if it is doing an online free course from Coursera or some other Berkeley University or any university in the UK or US, 1 hour a day. If you do that over a period of time, this becomes a habit, and you will be a high achiever. Yeah, when you achieve, it excites you, and you will achieve more and more. The last point, fixed mindset and growth mindset. What does it mean? Fixed mindset and growth mindset. Okay. So this is also important for students to understand. Fixed mindset are people who don't believe intelligence can be improved. They believe that this is static. Yeah. There is always a desire to look smart than desire to learn. I want to look smart. Okay. Feedback. If somebody gives feedback, fixed mindset people will take it very negatively, and growth mindset people will take it always positively, and it's a chance to learn. Yeah. And if you start, if you are a student, if parents or teachers or somebody tells you something, take it very, very positively. Don't start saying, I know, I know, I know, I know what you're going to say. But listening is some skill that we can always improve. Motivation comes from approval. So some people always need approval. Okay, I've done this. Somebody need to come and pat my back and say, fantastic, you've done well. And that's how I derive motivation. Some people doesn't need that. I'm self-motivated. Yeah. But that you can, so whatever I have told you just before this, you can practice the same thing to get to a growth mindset if you are not there. Try relating to things that you do, your behavior, the way that you interact, to what I am talking about, fixed mindset and growth mindset, and compare yourself where you are, right? So other success can be a threat, but for growth mindset people, other success is something to learn from. Right? And also, how some common thoughts of these people, fixed mindset people and growth mindset people. For fixed mindset, it is always proving yourself. I need to prove to someone. I need to prove to the class. No, I need to improve myself from where I was yesterday. Is a growth mindset. I need to improve. I need to be competing with myself, not with somebody else. Demonstrating your skills is what I need to always demonstrate. I need to know. It's about developing, performing better than others, performing better than you did in the past. It's some internal dialogue could be, am I able to do this? Maybe I just don't. So I just don't have the talent. So the growth mindset people always say, I'm not sure I can do this right now, but I'll give it a go. It's very, very positive. So look for cues that you actually sit and reflect and see what you do. Yeah. And then try to fix if you have an issue with what I am explaining now. The last but not the least, I think we are just past 1 hour now. Yes. Planning is very, very important. All right. So this is again a learning journey. So whatever practice that we wanted to build in is a learning journey, to-do list. And you can have a week to-do list. Different way people do different things. I would suggest, for example, I have a week planner, and then I have a to-do list for that particular day. I spend 5 minutes every day morning to look through what I need to do on that day. On the left-hand side, I will write that. And if there are things that is coming to my mind, or maybe my friends tells me, my teachers tells me, I will write it down on my right-hand side as things that need to be done. But my focus is on the things that is on my left-hand side, which I planned in the morning. But if there are priority items on my right-hand side, I will put it here. But this, at the end of the day, I will rearrange and strike off certain things, and I will put this back on my weekly plan. And rearrange it. Maybe something need to be done by Saturday, something need to be done by next Monday. I will just rearrange it. This is also a key success factor for every top scorer or every people who have actually achieved peaks. So maintaining a planning, maintaining a to-do list, maintaining a time sheet, for example, is very important. And doing that small bits with focus is very important. Now I wanted to before we go into a closing slide, I just wanted to ask you about something. All right. So this is the question for you. Tell me about your aspiration. What do you want to become? It could be your profession. It could be something that in an area that you wanted to go into, a domain or a field. It could be a job name, or it could be anything. That what is your aspiration? Where do you wanted to go? Where do you want to reach? What job you want to do? Which area do you wanted to go in? Just for this, I'm going to use something different now. All right, I'm going to use something known as Menti.com. Right, and this is what you need to do. Let me share the Menti. Okay, can you, Arun, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
All right, so there is a site known as Menti.com, yeah? So you can see on the top of the slide, www.menti.com. So if you type that in your browser, it will take you to a simple page where you have to enter a code. The code is 49305, yeah? So enter that code, then you will get this question there. And you can enter anything that you want to enter there. You can enter multiple times, you can enter single time, you can enter anything that you want. What do you want to become? It could be a
Sir,
job.
sorry to disturb you, sir. Can you
Yes.
repeat that code again for everyone? Maybe some people might not have.
49305. So www.menti.com and use the code 49305. And then answer this question. You can have multiple answers. Maybe your first priority, second priority, third priority, and submit. Hope you are able to do that. Is there anything coming in the chat? Are people able to do? Are people able to do? I know it may take some time. Okay, there's a few things coming up. To be famous, to be successful, to be rich. It could be a job or an area where you wanted to go. Animator, doctor, government jobs, comedian, animator, fantastic. Cybersecurity analyst, historian. Keep going, keep writing what you, I have so far 8 responses, 10 responses. So you can see this on the screen, what is to be rich. Keep going. What do you want to become? It could be a job, it could be a profession, it could be a field that you want to go into. So the things that you see which is coming on the screen are things that people are typing. Yeah. So things that people are saying to become a businessman, cybersecurity analyst, successful applications, professor, researcher, to be rich. So if some word is big, then that means there are more people trying to say the same thing. Human rights activist, flight attendant, wow, space, something related to space. It keeps jumping. Space researcher, CAST professor in 2 years, businesswoman, to be a teacher. So 34 people have done, 34 answers have done. Professor, teacher, scientist, researcher, excellent, fantastic. You can actually see the spectrum of things that people are actually thinking, right? So people have got, I'm just asking you this question also to make you aware of that there is something in this question that we need to think. If you have not thought about this, you need to think, we need to think. Yeah. If you are,
yeah, sorry to
if
disturb
you
you, sir.
yeah.
Still, I know plenty of people are putting. Maybe initially they might have experienced some technical difficulty to find out Menti.com. Now I can see that more people are putting their aspiration what they want it to be. So I think maybe we can wait for some more time.
Absolutely. So Yeah, this is very interesting to see the number of roles and profession that people are thinking. This is also an insight for people who are attending, that everybody have got something or the other. It's not limited now. The careers are not limited. This is also the other point. Careers are so vast and wide that you can explore and be be anything. You can actually be anything and live a happy life. What is important is what you really want to do. And if there are people who have just started thinking today, then that's not the right thing to do. But if you're not started thinking about it, you really seriously need to start thinking about, what do I want to become? Yeah, what do I want to become? I'm just closing this here for the time being, for the end, so the for time's sake. And I'll go back to the screen, the presentation. So thank you very much for telling me about your aspiration. This is fantastic to learn about this. Keep thinking about, what do I want to become? Okay. Now, when I say what do I want to become, maybe something today, it can change tomorrow. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it is always, we need to have an aspiration. Sometimes, all right. So not taking much of the time on that. You can also do something like this. So what we will be doing also is to send you, Arun will be sending you, this is what Arun told me, that he'll be sending you some resources, some templates, some stuff that we have shown today. Some of the models will be emailed to you, and you should be able to get that in the next few days. So I will also encourage everybody to do a performance improvement. This is what we call as a performance improvement template, where I will write down what I will start doing, what I will stop doing. Okay. So just think about today's session as a takeaway. What is that I need to start doing more? What is that I need to really start doing, which I have not done before? What is that I need to stop doing and do less of? So if you think and write this down after this session, it will be really good for you as a takeaway. Otherwise, you have just spent 1 hour with me without having to have a takeaway, because you will forget what you've actually listened to me, now. Also, you can think about, what is that one thing that I will start doing from today? All right. So I would love to end this session with the quote that I like most. This is a T.S. Eliot quote. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. There's a lot of depth in it. There is a lot of meaning in it. If you don't really put your foot outside, you will never know where I can go. If you just sit simply there and think about the possibilities just be in the air, but you have not taken the first step. So with that, I will just also complete this. Stay tuned for some of the, before we go getting into Q&A, I wanted to tell you about this, that there will be a mobile photography session. There are also some exciting stuff that we do, just not the career and just not about the exams and how to study and all that, but there's a mobile photography course, the session that Arun is planning to do. Choosing a career that suits you. How do I choose a career? That's going to be a very interesting session, where what do I need to consider when I choose a career? It's just not my interest, maybe something else, or maybe just my interest. So that's going to be a different thing. How to become a top scorer, again. We have just covered some glimpses of some of the area that we can go much more deeper into, and then tell you how can I become a top scorer, right? So with that, I think we are getting into Q&A. So this is Whiteboard Academics Facebook and Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn page, where you can go and search and follow. And bottom, you will see my Facebook page, which is Carvora. This is the handle for that. You can go there, you can like, and you can also see all the updates that's coming up. And Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and everything has got the same handle for me. It's Dr. San Talks, DRSAN Talks. That's what my handle for all the social media. So you can go there, follow me, and you can actually see my updates. All right, so open to Q&A now. So let's, is there anybody who have raised a hand?
There was one gentleman, I believe.
Aditi Sharma, I can see Aditi Sharma has raised a hand.
Yes, exactly.
So, so I'm also going through the questions. So is there somebody speaking there? Arun?
No, by mistake, actually, I provided them right, and I just disabled.
Okay. So if you really want to give access, so let's hear from Aditi then.
Okay, you want her to talk to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me see. What's that? Okay, allow to talk. Okay, now she can talk to you, sir.
Yes, Aditi.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
very well.
Okay, sir. It was a very informative session, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Sir, I'm a mathematics teacher
Okay.
in India, and nowadays, because of this COVID-19, we are providing the students the online classes, right?
Okay.
So I'm using basically the Zoom sessions I'm taking along with the WhatsApp group I have made.
Okay.
But the other ways I can, use for them. What would be the best ways? Can you please help me? Like the Whiteboard Academies, do you have any?
Yeah, I think there are different platforms where people can go and practice what you give them. What just quickly came to my mind when you said, with the limited resources and with whatever we have at the moment, I know you're giving them assignments. They will go back and do assignments. But if you give a group of people, assign a couple of problems to a group of people, where they go back and then connect each other and to solve that problem, that would be actually a great thing to do, because then first thing that they actually interact and exchange ideas and they actually get connected, and then they solve problems together. Yeah. I think when you solve a problem together, there is a great learning, because it stays in the mind of people. We call it as a group study, right? I think that's an idea that just came into my mind just very quickly when you asked me this. What else can be done? Do you use any kind of engaging platforms other than the online platform that you use?
Sir, I'm taking their online test, and active participation is definitely it's a best tool. So I give them the assignment and they have to solve it. Now the thing is, only 10 to 20% are taking initiative. What about the 80%?
All
You
right.
know, the rest of the class they are not taking any.
So I think
initiative.
it's probably best to mix people who are the initiators and the non-initiators together, and then make them into groups probably, and then give them a problem, and probably they will all come back to us. Because when they get connected, I think the spirit will go up, and maybe you can see a different test. This is just a suggestion, just a test. All right.
Okay, sir.
I'm just taking some question from the webinar is basically which age group of students. So so today the things that we have covered are probably good enough for any students from an age of 8th standard or 6th standard until 12th, or even people who are teachers or parents. What else is, what's the best advice you can give to plan a career rather than simply work to keep a job? I think this question is very relevant, and this is from Sanjay. So Sanjay, if you are listening to me, I think some of those things have been answered in some of the things that I discussed at the end of the session. But one thing to be very conscious of is that that we need to understand what I like doing most. Yeah, what I love doing most. It shouldn't be somebody have told that this has got a potential, this job has got a potential in the future. But what I love doing most, if I love serving people, or probably, I mean, there are different. So what I can tell you is, I mean, there are even different tests and psychometrics and tools that we can actually use to see what is my taste, what am I good in. Okay, if I am a guy who actually love to talk to people, probably I would say you should get into people side of things. If you're technically very sound and generate ideas, definitely you go into technical or innovations and things like that. And if you're good with numbers, I would definitely say you should get into things that actually speaks numbers. So, but then we need to know, what am I? I may be a mix of all these things, but then I need to know what. But I'm just giving you a very generic answer. But then we can have a longer conversation, I believe, later.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Before you go to the next Q&A,
Yeah.
also since you have mentioned this topic, I would like to mention that we provide career advices. So if you're looking for any kind of advices or counseling on the career, students' career, you can text us in your Facebook or LinkedIn, or I will be sending out actually the method to contact us.
Yeah.
So you can
Sure.
contact us.
Okay, just to close off on the Sanjay, this thing. So I know, rather than just keeping a job, just looking for betterment, right? Definitely, we should be networking, knowing more people, having a good profile on LinkedIn, for example. Yeah, keep your CV keeping your CV updated, keeping some voluntary jobs so you meet new people. So I would say that your future, so our future or your future will be decided based on, I used to say this all the time, so will be decided based on the number of books you read and the number of new people you meet. Yeah, so it's network essentially that actually gets you connected to or move your career. This is from my experience and from my journey that I have to tell you. There's a question from Nadia. Nadia says, from a mental health and emotional well-being perspective, how can students who feel they need to catch up, having missed social and educational interactions, address a feeling of not making enough progress? I think we've just probably gone into this in the last 2 months, 3 months. There's not much, in my opinion, to think that we have actually left a lot behind. But I think just by removing that, I am actually not behind, but I can still catch up is the first thing that I would say that the people need to have. And then they can anytime make progress, because 3 months is nothing. So, but I think to learn how we should face going forward is what is required at the moment, Nadia. I don't know whether that answered you, Nadia, but is there any, how can parents and guardians help students recognize stress in children, young adults, and deal with mental stress effectively? I think it's a very, very crucial question. Again, Nadia is asking this question. I think we are all going through, students as parents, we are going through this, students as students, we are going through this. And then we are all together in one house or one at home. And there are issues that we need to, so as I think I will put more responsibility on the part of the adults to first to adapt to the situation, and then not to go wild, for example, and to give a patient listening to these people. So some of the things that probably anxiety symptoms could come out in kids, where they may start talking about, no, I'm actually highly tense now, I have exams tomorrow, I haven't studied, or they will also say, I've done with this school learning, now I need to go back. So I think so some of those adaptation techniques that we were just talking throughout the day should really help them. I think I strongly believe that, like any other adults, the emotional needs and the connection needs is really there in even the small kids as well. We need to be able to help and support that. I think I see a hand raised there from Harish.
Yes. So you want Harish to talk to you, sir?
Yes.
To talk?
Let Harish talk. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Harish.
Harish, you can unmute and talk. You're muted now. Maybe Harish has left the seat. Yes, Harish, tell me.
Yeah.
Yes, Harish. Harish, are you talking? Are you saying something? So maybe Harish
is not done. Connection is not
proper. Maybe you can unmute him again. Harish, I would request you to just put your question in the chat so we could actually answer you. There seems to be some technical issues.
Okay.
How to, I saw a few questions from Nadia. Nadia, I'm coming back to your questions. And Neerathilangam, how to stricter routine in these days, very difficult to stick to a routine. Yes, Neerathilangam, it's very difficult to stick to a routine because the boundaries, okay? So especially if you are a parent who are working from home, one thing that is missing now is the one thing that is missing now is that there is no boundary of family and work, right? So we are always encroaching into family, and the family is always encroaching into work, and so you feel like stretching yourself and working for more hours than you usually do. This is a situation I'm explaining. This is what is in reality happening, but this is where we need to be conscious about that's happening, and then try to put in a routine. This is small incremental step every day leads to a much more efficient way of doing things. So that's what I would say, Neerathilingam. Just start doing small things. Don't need to do everything in one go. Just do some small bites of things every day. So you should be able to get there. Jaydeep Roy asks, how can we reduce our depression? Jaydeep, I should say sorry that I'm actually not a psychotherapist who could actually say authenticate, as an authority, I cannot answer your question, but I can just say, how can you reduce depression? I think you should actually find out what actually causes depression. Yeah, it could be because you're not going out. It could be you're actually not, you're doing something now that, which, okay, we talked about control, right? So we're losing control. There were things that I used to do, the way that I used to function, the way that I used to talk to people, go out, party, or social interact. Maybe that's where the reality check will really help you to understand what is going on. And then there are specific factors that then you need to really talk to somebody who is an expert who can actually tell you, how to reduce. But for me, I can tell you something. Reducing depression is if you exercise more, if you actually think positively, if you actually adapt and accept the reality of the situation, this can all help you to reduce depression. And talking to your friend, talking to somebody who you trust can reduce depression. This is from my knowledge, I can tell you. There is a question from Dr. Pushkal Giri. Hello, sir. My question is, in this present pandemic situation, online classes are going on, but maximum participation is very low. Even parents are not showing interest. Why? I think I'm not sure, Dr. Pushkal, which part of probably the world you are from. Maybe I believe that you are from India and some part of probably in the mid part or the northern part of India. It's a difficult question to answer. I think it probably could be that people don't believe in those online classes. Maybe they are more traditional, and then the parents or kids don't see value in it. But I think because this is some culture. Because, for example, I'm in the UAE, right? We actually got into this online schooling on the very first day of getting back to school, because all our kids, all our parents' kids here are actually online, and they have to have 100% attendance, and everybody's going through. My kids are going through this. I think it also depends upon the culture and depending upon the culture and the context of different countries or places and severity of the situation, for example, right? So you should be also able to find out why somebody is not attending. Maybe because there is something going wrong, or somebody is upset, or somebody is going through this turmoil and having an effect of this turmoil. Of this pandemic because of that. So I think constantly persuading, constantly making this change, because don't expect everything will happen in one day, but constantly doing the awareness and talking to people and making them coming on, personally talking to them, calling them and asking them to come on board with the onlining, because this may continue, right? So the numbers getting reported for probably from India are going up because the tests are going up. So the numbers are going up. So nothing to panic there, but then because the tests are going up, the numbers are going up. Numbers doesn't actually equate to number of deaths. So, so the situation could continue for more than time that we may expect. So it may be wise to talk to parents and kids and then ask them, understand what's going on, and understand to make them the situation and the impact of if they don't come to a class. Because some people are coming, some won't come because they may lose them. Because this will be the normal probably at least for some more time. Joe Scooty is raising hands. I don't know if you're able to.
Okay, sure. Okay. Not able to find out Joe Scooty. Okay, it's only one attendee, Atiti Sharma.
Okay. Okay, so let me go into a question from, I'm a head of the KG section in one school in the UAE. We are in great difficulty these days to conduct distance learning classes for KG children, especially my teachers are under lack of work. My teachers are under lack of work. I just want to request from you mental relaxation training program. You're actually asking this question on the right time. I think the kids are having their yoga day, and as parents, for us here, we have been asked to prepare for the yoga day coming up. That's for kids. So mental relaxation training program is something that I think I understand this question as you're actually asking about mental relaxation training program for teachers. If that is the case, I think we will be planning some sessions in the future that's coming up, and then you should be able to tune into that. What else is there? Kindly know the waste management organized. Harish, I don't get your question, so probably waste management is not is something that we are actually dealing today. But if you're asking about time waste or waste management, I think we have covered some of those stuff before. We'll take just one more question. I don't know if there is anything.
Absolutely, sir. That's what I was thinking of. We can reply to all these or answer these questions later. Now, definitely they have provide the email address or contact numbers, right? So we can reply back to them. You can attend one more question Q&A.
Okay, I'll just take one more question. This is from Subhadra Rajiv. So the intensity in focus. To reduce the number of hours I have experienced it not coming naturally. The more I feel like I need to focus, there is this tendency to distract myself. Is it a natural ability which some people have? Not at all. So Subhadra, this is not an ability that specifically for some people. Everybody have got the natural ability to focus. Yeah. Only thing that we need to do is to practice. So but the varying, everybody can do this, everybody is capable, but some people have got more tendency to get into or catch this distraction. Okay, so why is that? Because they have not tuned themselves to focus. Okay, so what I would advise you, Subhadra, is that you practice small bit. Okay, just sit for 10 minutes without any distraction today. All right, and tomorrow increase that to 15 minutes, and on the third day you increase that to. And also, what also matters is the place where you sit, the environment where you sit. You shouldn't be sitting in your living room when the TV is on, or when your father is actually working in the living room or in one of the room. So you should find a place where you don't get distracted. Okay, and then try this every day. You keep increasing. Even if it is minutes by minutes, you will reach to a stage where you will be able to completely focus for hours. All right. So with that, I would say thank you everyone for attending today's session. It was a great participation from your side. And I can see there were 50 people still on the participants list. I hope this was a useful session for you, and hope to please tune in for other session that is coming up from Whiteboard Academics and from myself as well. Thank you very much. I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir, for that informative. And I can see that people were actually entertaining and they're very cooperative. So that itself is showing this topic we selected, and the way you presented it was very exciting and entertaining. That's why people are still over there. They are still asking questions. So due to the time limitation, we are not able to attend to all the questions, but definitely they can always get back to us on through our Facebook, LinkedIn, or email address. The invitation we have sent it to the email, right? So they can always reply back to the email, and we will be, and also we will be keeping them updated regarding our upcoming events, and definitely looking forward to their participation again. Next week we are having one more session.
Okay. Also, there are a lot of thank you note here, and I would love to thank you all, and thank you so much for your participation, and thanks. I'm just reading through the chat. Also, there was some e-certificate. I think we'll be providing a participation certificate for this session.
Yes.
And Arun will be arranging that. I just saw that. Yep. Thank you very much, all. You have a good day and excellent day. Good weekend for people who are actually having Sunday tomorrow. We start going to work on Sunday. So thank you very much.